Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into the Dubai real estate scene, specifically for, expats considering a significant investment.
Exactly. We've got insights drawn from Ahmed at Bid Estate, someone who deals with clients investing millions.
Right. And our mission here is simple. Give you a clear, concise look at the key things you need to think about when buying property in Dubai. No fluff. Just the essentials.
Yeah, we want to cut through the noise. So we'll tackle the big questions like, should you go for off-plan or a ready property?
What are the financing options, for residents versus non-residents?
And what about buying under a company for privacy, asset protection? How does that actually work?
Good one. Also, which areas are best for rental returns and which for capital growth?
We'll cover the buying process too, the steps, the fees involved, all that practical stuff.
Opportunities for rental income short-term, hotel investments.
And the golden visa, of course. How do you get it through property? What are the benefits?
Can you even sell an off-plan place before it's finished? Let's get into it.
Okay, so first things first, Ahmed really stresses this. It all starts with your needs.
Right. What's the goal? Commercial space. A residential investment to rent out. Or, a place for you to actually live.
Once you've got that clear, then comes that big choice. Off-plan or ready?
So what's the current thinking there? Ahmed had some interesting takes.
Yeah, he mentioned that right now, off-plan often looks like better value for money.
Why is that?
Well, developers often give incentives, better payment plans early on to get projects moving. Plus, there's potential for the value to go up as it gets built, market buzz and all that.
Makes sense. But if you need somewhere, like now,
then ready properties are the way to go. And there's plenty of great stock. And remember, places like Bid Estate, they work both sides direct with developers. That's the primary market. And also the resale market, the secondary one.
Okay, let's talk money. Financing. Always crucial. What are the options, especially those developer payment plans?
Yes, this is a big one in Dubai. Ahmed highlighted these interest-free plans directly from developers. They can stretch like 1 to 5 years.
Wow, interest-free. That's significant for cash flow.
It really is. It shows how competitive the market is, which is good for you, the buyer.
And for non-residents needing a traditional mortgage.
That's also possible. Usually caps, though, expect maybe 60% financing, so you'd need 40% up front.
Is the approval process tough for non-residents?
Apparently, it's often surprisingly straightforward. Ahmed said usually just need a passport copy, 6 months of bank statements.
Personal statements, or business too?
Both. If you're self-employed, personal, and corporate with your trade license. If you're employed, then just a salary certificate. Pretty standard stuff, really.
Now, this idea of buying under a company name, that sounds intriguing for privacy.
Yes, definitely. Ahmed confirmed it's possible using a Dubai-registered company. Could be free zone, could be mainland.
Is setting up a company like that a huge hassle?
Yeah.
Expensive?
He described it as pretty efficient, actually. And relatively inexpensive compared to some other places. It gives you that layer of privacy, separates the asset from you personally. Protects against liabilities, too.
You mentioned free zone and mainland companies. Just quickly, what's the main difference for owning property?
Sure. So the biggest difference usually relates to where the company can do business. Mainland can operate anywhere in the UAE. Free zones are typically limited to their zone and internationally, though they can interact with the mainland via agents.
But for just holding property?
For just holding property, both can work. The exact rules and maybe how much ownership info is public can vary a bit by zone. Best to get specific legal advice, obviously.
Makes sense. Okay, so we know why we might buy, how we might finance it. Now the big one, where, which areas?
Right. Ahmed broke it down based on goals. For rental income, especially short-term like Airbnb.
Your usual suspects.
Pretty much. Tourist hubs.
Yeah.
Dubai Marina, downtown Dubai. He also flagged Business Bay as like the next big thing, the next downtown, he called it.
Oh, interesting. Any others for future potential?
Dubai Creek Harbor was mentioned. Definitely one to watch.
And what if your priority is capital growth? Maybe more privacy, villas, townhouses?
Yeah, for that, look at communities like the Villa, DAMAC Hills, DAMAC Lagoons. Sounds really up and coming, apparently. Also, Dubai Hills Estate, Arabian Ranches 3.
But those take longer to build, right? If you buy from a developer.
That's the trade-off, yeah. You might be looking at around 4 years for completion on some of those developer projects.
It's wild how fast things get built there, though. I heard Ahmed mention Dubai needs a new map every 6 months.
Yeah, something like that. And that stat about the cranes. A huge chunk of the world's construction cranes are apparently in Dubai.
So things move fast. Off-plan completion isn't necessarily decades away.
No, not at all. Most projects are aiming for like 2 to 4 years. Ahmed said the longest ones currently are targeting around 2026. It's rapid.
And demand is high.
Very high. Especially for the good projects. He mentioned Central Park by Maris sold out super quick. You've got this influx of high net worth individuals buying up property, sometimes multiple units. That's really driving things.
So you need to be ready to move if you see something you like.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's say you found something off plan. What's the process? What value does a good agent or real estate manager, as Ahmed put it, bring?
Right. He emphasized their role, finding the best deals, sometimes stuff that isn't even advertised publicly, helping with the contract, which can be complex.
Reminding you about installment payments, managing the handover, even helping you rent it out or sell it later. It's end-to-end support ideally.
So the actual steps for off-plan.
Typically, you'd visit the developer or their agent, pick your unit, then pay a booking fee. Could be, say, AED, $20,000, maybe up to 5% of the property value.
And then the main down payment.
Usually get like 14 to 30 days for that and to sign the main agreement, the SPA.
How much is the down payment usually?
It varies. Could be 10% plus the 4% registration fee, so maybe 14%. Sometimes up to 24% in total upfront. But some projects closer to finishing might ask for more. Ahmed mentioned one needing 54% upfront with MAG.
54%. Wow. Is there room to negotiate terms?
He suggested there often is, yeah.
Yeah.
Worth asking.
Okay. Fees for off-plan. You mentioned the 4% registration fee to the Dubai Land Department, DLD. Any others? Agency fees?
For primary sale, so direct from the developer, typically no agency fees for you as the buyer. The developer covers that. So it's mainly that 4% DLD fee, which the developer usually handles.
What about buying a resale property? Fees there?
Different story. For resale, you, the buyer, usually pay a 2% agency commission.
Okay. Still the 4% DLD fee.
Yep, still the 4% DLD registration fee, plus title deed fees. About AED 580 for a ready property, but interestingly, AED 4040 for an off-plan one when it completes and you get the title deed.
Right. Any other admin fees?
There's a trustee office fee, AED 2100 if the property is under 500,000 dirhams, and AED 4200 if it's over that.
Got it. Lots of little costs to factor in. Now let's switch to rental income. Those short-term rental returns Ahmed mentioned, 10-12% net. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, those figures for places like the Marina, downtown, Business Bay, they really stand out. Net returns based on the property value.
That's significantly higher than many other major cities. What's driving that? Is it sustainable?
Good question. Well, Dubai's tourism is obviously huge. High occupancy, especially in peak season. It's also a global business hub, attracting longer stays too.
And property management is efficient.
Generally, yes. There's a good ecosystem for managing short-term lets. As for sustainability, look, tourism ebbs and flows, but Dubai keeps investing, diversifying, attracting residents. So the demand in prime spots likely stays strong. But, regulations can change, markets shift, always a factor.
True. What about long-term rentals?
Also very common, especially in those villa communities, the villa, JVC, JLT.
Yeah.
Ahmed mentioned a key advantage there is often getting all the rent checks up front for the year.
Oh, really? All up front. That's great for cash flow.
Definitely. And then there's hotel investments. Buying a unit within a hotel.
How does that work?
Basically, you own the room or suite. A major hotel brand manages it completely, pools the income, and you get a share. Hassle-free management, often high ROI in top locations like downtown, City Walk, The Palm.
Plus, you get to use it sometimes.
Yeah, usually get around 14 days a year for personal stays. Ahmed compared it to models in, like, Portugal, but without the hurricane risk you might get in the Caribbean.
Right. Okay, another big pull factor. The golden visa. What are the perks?
Main one is long-term residency. It's a 10-year visa, renewable. You also get priority treatment in government stuff, maybe some discounts with certain cards like the ISAT card. And the UAE passport is strong, which is linked.
How do you get it through property? Let's start with a ready property.
That seems to be the more straightforward route. You need the title deed, your passport copy. If you're sponsoring family, wife, kids, you need marriage and birth certificates. Properly attested.
Attested mean?
Yeah, attested by the UAE consulate in your home country. Then again by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in the UAE. Standard procedure for official documents.
Then you need to be there physically.
Yes, for a medical test once the application's approved. Ahmed said timings are currently maybe up to 30 days because demand is high.
Okay, what about getting the golden visa with an off-plan property? Ahmed said that's trickier.
Much trickier, yeah. Higher rejection rates. It really depends on the developer's reputation, their track record, and crucially, how much of the project is actually built.
So percentage completion matters a lot.
Hugely. If it's like 80% or more complete, your chances are much better. Under 50, 60% completion often gets rejected, apparently.
So maybe wait until construction is further along before applying.
That seems to be the advice. Waiting for those higher completion milestones can really boost your chances. He also mentioned resale of off-plan might qualify too, which is interesting.
Speaking of resale, can you sell an off-plan property before it's finished? Say you bought early and the value's gone up.
Yes, absolutely. Ahmed confirmed that's quite common. Investors might cash out and realize gains when it's, say, 20% built or 50% built.
And someone else could buy it then. Maybe someone who missed the first launch.
Exactly. They might pay a premium, but they get into the project. And if construction is progressed enough, they might then be able to apply for the golden visa sooner than the original buyer could have.
So lots of flexibility there. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. It seems the Dubai market, based on Ahmed's insights, offers a really diverse range of opportunities.
It really does. From getting in early with off-plan to generating those strong rental yields, right through to that potential for long-term residency with the golden visa.
And the key takeaway, as Ahmed kept saying, is really knowing your own goals first, right?
Absolutely. What's your priority? Capital growth or rental income? Short-term flip or long-term hold? Answering those questions points you to the right kind of property and the right location in this very active market.
Yeah, the speed of development is just incredible. Those innovative financing options, the global interest. It's definitely a unique market.
It really is.
Yeah.
So as you think about all this, consider what resonates most with you. Is it the fast pace, the potential returns, the residency aspect? And what other questions does this raise for you as you look deeper into Dubai real estate?
A lot to think about. That brings us to the end of this deep dive. Thanks for joining us.
We look forward to the next one.